Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Over at the Top Rope podcast for December 7th, 2023. I'm your host, Nick, and today I will be reviewing AEW from last night, which was December 6th, 2023. Now, I'm not going to go into a full review. I'm just going to give my thoughts and my opinions on how I thought the show went. But before I do that, I wanted to address something. This morning I woke up to a reply from JD from New York, who was replying to a comment I had left on one of his videos. He replied to me in the most horrendous way, in my opinion. I was just stating my opinion and that I did not fully agree with what he was saying in his video. But JD had the audacity to call me a fucking idiot for having my own opinion and basically telling me that I'm wrong for having a said opinion. I think that JD is wrong for calling me a fucking idiot, especially someone who has a disability. And I did mention that in my reply to JD that, hey, very classy of you, JD, to basically tell a person with a disability that they're a fucking idiot. I don't appreciate that, JD. And I really don't. I know that this may get around, so JD, if you're watching this video, I don't appreciate you calling me a fucking idiot for having my own opinion. I was just disagreeing with your statement in your video, and my opinion is different than yours, and that's perfectly fine. I believe that you push the narrative that AEW is so bad, in your opinion, that it's unwatchable, and I don't believe that is correct. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. You can say it's not your liking, or you didn't like this, or you didn't like that. But to tell someone else that their opinion is completely wrong, and basically that you're the only one that's right, it is completely insane, JD. And I would hope that as a big YouTuber, a big content creator, that you would be more professional in your responses to your fans and your critics. Because you know what? I may disagree with your opinion. I mean, I like what you say, JD. But I always respected the hustle that you put into your videos. But after what you said to me this morning, I don't think I can respect you anymore. If you're not willing to respect other people's opinion and say nicely that you disagree, I can't respect anyone like that. And especially if you come at me talking about, well, you're a fucking idiot. Well, pardon me, JD, you don't know me. You could have responded in a much nicer way, but still made your point across. Your co-host, Andrew Baydala, responded to me in a very respectful and nice way. And I have mutual respect for Andrew, and he and I may disagree on some things, but he never came across as rude, arrogant, pompous, or insane, JD. And I truly believe that your responses to me were inappropriate, they were uncalled for, and I really wish you would take a step back and really look at how you respond to people online, JD. Because yes, you may be a bigger YouTuber than me. Yes, you may have more followers than I do. But just because you have a bigger platform, it does not give you the right at all to disrespect someone in a manner like that. I am stating my opinion, and I have every right to do so. That's all I have to say on that, JD. I wish you the best. But honestly, really think about what you say before responding to a reply and criticism. You're supposed to be a professional YouTuber. And to tell someone with a disability that they're a fucking idiot is very inappropriate, and it doesn't make you look like a good person, JD. That's all I have to say, guys. Now I'm gonna get on to the AEW review. 3. So AEW was what's it called? Live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada today, and or last night I should say, and it was a great show. We had some more matches in the Continental Classic. We had John Moxley versus Rush, which I thought was an excellent match. Those two really killed it out there. I would have preferred them. That doesn't mean I know I'm probably going to get some flack for this. But nothing against Moxley. I hate my boy. I'm not going to hate on him. But what I would have preferred is for Rush to pick up a win over Moxley. I think it would have had an element of surprise. And even if Moxley lost, that doesn't mean he's out of the tournament. I mean, I just feel like maybe the tournament's maybe a little bit predictable. I mean, maybe Tony Khan has a plan for a surprise or upset at the end of the tournament, but I just feel like it's a little predictable about who's going to win. Maybe not the whole tournament, but some of these matches. But I would have preferred to see Rush get a big upset victory over Moxley. I think it would have been a shocker, and I would have loved to see him, but Moxley is an excellent wrestler. They beat the shit out of each other. They went all over the arena. There were close near falls, and I absolutely thought the match was paced very well. It was a great starter to the show. Yeah, I just thought all in all it was a good match, and Moxley won his match, and I believe Moxley has, 9 points now, I believe. We also had Jay Lethal versus Switchblade Jay White. Now, we all knew from looking at this match on paper, we all knew Jay White was winning in the match. Jay Lethal was not going to win the match. I know there's a lot of people that wanted Jay Lethal to win the match, but I believe that Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe, which we will get to in a moment, are there just to take losses. I honestly do. I don't think they were really meant to pick up victories. So, Jay Lethal's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong, but I believe in this case, he's just there to pick up the loss, because they need some guy in there just to pick up a loss. And I know there's going to be people complaining on the web, and but Jay Lethal needs to win. No, he doesn't. I understand maybe getting a few wins here and there, yes. But Jay Lethal does not need to win the Continental Classic. That's just me. It was a great match all in all, but at the end of the day, Jay White was the one that was going to win, and it was a good match. Predictable, yes. The finish was a little sloppy in my opinion. Sorry about that, I had to put on my glasses. The finish was a little sloppy in my opinion. It was a little, I'm not going to say it was a botch because I did find out Jericho doesn't like the word botch from his interview with Chris Van Vliet. So there was a little mess up during the roll-up of the finish. But all in all, it was a good match. It got done when it needs to get done. And I'm happy to see Jay White progressing in this tournament. And then we had Swerve Strickland versus Mark Briscoe. And I have to say, wow, these two really brought it. They killed it. I'm very proud of both of them. I have taken a real liking to Swerve. He's an excellent wrestler. Mark Briscoe, I have nothing bad to say about Mark. He is so good, and even as a single brother, he's so good, and I still miss his brother to this day. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. We miss you, brother. That was truly sad at the beginning of 2023 to lose Jay Briscoe. But Mark, there's nothing bad to say about Mark. He's very impressive. I'm very happy to see him in AEW. I'm very happy to see him thriving in AEW as a singles competitor. And I would really like to see more Mark Briscoe. Then we had, we had Moxley, Roosh, we had Jay Lethal, Switchblade, and we had Mark Briscoe and Swerve. I thought out of the three of them, I think, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what was going on with my camera. It cut off while I was in the middle of saying. Out of the three Continental Classic matches that we got the last night on Dynamite, I thought that Mark Briscoe and Swerve was the best out of the three. I mean, we had Jon Moxley and Roosh. We had Switchblade and Lethal. And I thought out of all three of the matches, Mark Briscoe and Swerve was the best in my opinion. I know you may disagree, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, out of those three, I thought that Mark Briscoe and Swerve really brought it and really, really, really killed it, and I'm very proud of both of them very much. I thought it was very well done. We also had a very funny segment with Roderick Strong, and I just love his character. I know a lot of people are annoyed with it, how he will go out there and every time he says the first name of somebody, Renee, he yells everybody's first name, which I think is hilarious. And so, he was out there talking about how he still thinks that JF is the devil and blah, blah, blah. And, every time he wanted to get Renee the attention, he would yell, Renee! I just find his character so funny, and I just get a chuckle out of it every week. I look forward every week. Every time I hear Roderick Strong is going to be on my screen, I am always like, okay, whose name is he going to yell this week? Is he going to yell Adam or Matt or Samoa? Like I said on Twitter in my newsletter video, I said I would actually love to do a segment with Roderick Strong if I could find a way to do it, because I'm a real wheelchair user, and I just think it would be funny if he and I were yelling back and forth at each other. I just think it would be hilarious. But as of last night, he ditched the wheelchair. He got up and, oh my God, it's a miracle. And he's talking about, no more. I'm not going to let a wheelchair define who I am anymore. And I'm like, as he's saying this, I'm just laughing. I'm like, I feel you, brother, because that's how I really feel in real life. I don't know, I wish I could get out of this wheelchair and walk, but unfortunately, I cannot do that. My life is not a storyline. I wish it was, because that would be something to see. But we had that segment with Roger Snow, and they basically pushed his wheelchair off the entrance ramp, which I thought was hilarious. And then we had Samoa Joe and what was supposed to be MJF, but unfortunately MJF didn't make it, because as Samoa came down to the ring and got in the ring, actually, the lights started flickering and going out, and then it went dark, and then when it stayed dark for a while, and then they came back up, and we all noticed that on the Tron, they cut back to the back, and poor MJF was laid out with a glass bottle beside him, and it looked like someone had shattered a bottle over the back of his head. So I loved how they did this, because it made the storyline more suspenseful. It makes you think, who in the hell would do this to Maxwell Jacob Friedman? Who the fuck is the devil? I mean, at least that's what I thought. I was thinking, who the fuck is the devil? Who the hell is the devil? And so we never got to see that match, and like someone runs to the back to how Max, and that's basically it. And then we got Timeless Toni Storm. Oh, before that, Mariah May had a backstage segment where she actually spoke. Sexy Mariah May. That's what I'm calling her, Sexy Mariah May. Because, she was talking about her debut match in AEW, and she said that she spoke to Tony Khan, and when Renee asked her, who is going to be your opponent for your debut match, she told Renee it wasn't any of her business, and then she would have to wait to see. I actually like that. For all of those people on Twitter and YouTube and whatever places complaining about how Mariah May just stands there, like I said, just hang on, everything will work out. She's going to have a debut match soon. And sure enough, I was correct. So I cannot wait to see that. Then we had Sky Blue versus Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. Very good showing by both women. I felt like Toni Storm was much better in this match than Sky Blue was. That's just my opinion. Not taking anything away from Sky Blue. I love Sky Blue. She is very beautiful, should I say, and she has some very nice assets. If you get what I'm saying, she has a very nice asset. If you get what I'm saying. But all in all, it was a very good match between her and Toni Storm. Toni Storm ends up picking up a victory. I think it was from a roll-up. Yeah, it was, because Sky Blue went for a roll-up, and then she countered the roll-up. And I love it when Toni Storm wins, because she always looks overly, surprised, like she didn't expect to win. And what I was very surprised about is she's standing in the middle of the ring, and all of a sudden you hear Rio's music pop up on the Tron. I flipped out in a good way. I lost my shit. I'm a huge Rio fan. So, and the funny thing was, 24 hours before Dynamite, I had tweeted to Tony Khan himself, and I said, where is Riho? I want to see Riho on TV. So I don't know if this was just coincidence or if Tony actually saw my tweet and did something about it. If he did, that's amazing, because I literally lost my mind. I absolutely love Riho. So it was very good to see Riho back in AEW. And I know other YouTubers and podcasters like JD from New York is gonna bitch and moan about Rio being back because he doesn't like the Joshi talents. So I can already smell the negativity coming from JD from New York and all the WWE shows and all the wrestling fans who don't like Japanese pro wrestling. And if you don't, I feel sorry for you because Japanese wrestling, men and women, is some of the best wrestling in the world, in my opinion. But anyway, it was so good to see Rio again. It is so good to see Rio, and it looks like it's going to be Rio versus Tony Storm, and I'm all for it. I fully expect Tony Storm to win against Rio, so I'm not looking for Rio to dethrone Tony Storm at all. I just love seeing Rio in the ring, so I'm thrilled. And then we got to the main event, which was Adam Copeland versus Father of the Year, Christian Cage. You know, during the first part of this match, Adam Copeland had the upper hand. I mean, I thought there was a moment in this match that I thought, oh my god, they're just gonna have Adam beat his ass for 15 minutes and pick up the win and win the TNT Championship. But actually, it turned out to be a very good match. It was a very good match. They went back and forth, typical Christian Adam match. But it was actually very good for two 50-year-olds in this match. An excellent match. It shows you it doesn't matter how old you are. As long as you can keep going in that ring to the highest of standards, you are still very good. And I have to give Christian Cage and Adam Copeland props because they are some of the best in that ring. They are legends. And I have nothing bad to say about this match. There was one point in the match where I believe Christian did hit the kill switch and then Adam kicked out at the last second. One thing I will say, and I have to kind of criticize the referees in AEW, especially Bryce Remsburg, when he goes down for the 1-2, right as he gets down for the last slap of the mat, he always stops his hand. You don't want to stop your hand mid-count. When it's supposed to be a near fall, you want to make it look like you're almost going to slap the mat for the 3 count, but you want to tuck your arm under your body. And that's something that I think the AEW referees need to learn very quickly, because it kind of takes the person out of the match when they see you deliberately stop your count right before the 3rd slap on the mat. So just a small bit of criticism. I love Bryce. I don't hate him. So no one come after me. Just a little piece of advice, a little observation. But I love the match. I love what Bryce Remsburg brings to the match. I knew when I saw Bryce in the match, I was like, oh, he's going to take a bump. They're going to do something with Bryce, because every time he's in there, they always do like a bump or a spot with Bryce, and I think that is so cool. Bryce has become one of my favorite referees in AEW for that fact alone. He is so good at it, and which brings me to the end of this match. So it was kind of funny. So Adam goes for a spear, right? Or was it Christian? One of them goes for a spear. And Bryce gets kind of pushed out of the way by one of the guys to avoid the spear. And he gets stuck in the ropes. I guess he's leaning out of the ropes to try to avoid the spear. So Christian sees Bryce leaning over. And what did this coward do? He just swiftly kicks the referee in the balls. I mean, straight up. Pop! I just bugged out laughing when he did that, like, because Christian did it with so much believability. And you gotta give Bryce credit. You know he probably would win a cup, but still, you gotta give him credit. He sold it like a champ. And then, I believe her name is Shayna Wayne, comes down to the ring, and I'm like, what is she doing here? She grabs the TNT Championship because Christian had brought it into the ring while the referee was down to try to use it on Adam. And apparently he ducked it or something, you know. Yeah, he ducked it after Christian went for the spear. Shayna, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but this was really bad. I'm not blaming her, but she needed just a little more training. Shayna Wayne goes to hit one of them with the title, and when she goes to hit Adam, she barely misses him. She barely gets him, actually. And he has to act like she hit him on the head with it. And the way she swung the title was one of the sloppiest ways I've seen. But I'm not criticizing her at all. I mean, she's not really a wrestler. She doesn't know how to do it, you know. So, but it was kind of funny because she kind of fell over at him as she went to swing it on his head. And another funny thing was the referee, Bryce Remsburg, took forever to get up from the low blow. And what was hilarious was, as soon as Christian got the cover, the referee like pops up and just counts the 1, 2, 3, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. He just low blowed you in the balls and you're still going to count the 3 count? I thought he would at least start getting up from the low blow and then ring the bell, because that to me was a disqualification. I don't know why Bryce Remsburg wouldn't have called for the bell. I mean, maybe I'm just weird, but I thought because it's a no disqualification, because it wasn't a no disqualification match, and Christian kicked the ref in the balls, you would have thought that the ref would have called for the bell. It just makes sense. So I don't know why the ref didn't call for the bell. But all in all, it was a very good match. I'm glad that Christian won. I'm glad he retained. That's what I had asked Tony Khan for. I asked him to have Christian retain. And I asked for those 2 guys to go on for the main event, which Tony Khan did. So if Tony's watching this, if this gets back to AEW or Tony Khan, thank you, Tony, for reading my tweets. I know you didn't respond to them. Thank you for reading my tweets, because I honestly think he did read my tweets, because I just find it to be too much of a coincidence that I tweet about how much I love Rio and that I want to see her on television, and all of a sudden she ends up popping up. And I also say that I don't want Christian losing the TNT Championship, which he didn't. And I also told Tony that I also wanted Adam and Christian to be in the main event, which they were. So I'm very happy. It was a very, very good Dynamite. Were there something that would have changed? Absolutely yes. But all in all, it was a very good match. A very good show, I should say. There was also another segment that I forgot to talk about. The promo between Adam Page and MJF was absolute fire, and I'm going to see if I can find it on TikTok so that I can react to it. But this video will be going up on my Twitter account as well as my YouTube account. And so please comment down below. Tell me what you thought about this week's Dynamite. Please. I also want to hear what your opinions are. And I'll see you next time for another great review of pro wrestling as we go over the top rope. Thank you for watching, everyone. Goodbye. 3.